It all began the night Mark realized his marriage was dead, not with drama or shouting, but quietly, like a light bulb burning out in a hallway. He came home later than usual, around 9:30. The house was softly lit, filled with the smell of vanilla and coffee, too warm, too peaceful to be real. He heard her laughter, short, quiet, a little forced, and a man's voice, confident, relaxed, too comfortable for a guest. Mark didn't walk in. He stopped in the hallway, took off his coat, placed his briefcase down, and listened. The voice talked about an exhibition project, then a trip to New York, then about her, about Sarah, his wife. The tone changed gentler, closer. He didn't go into the kitchen. He walked out, quietly closed the door, went to his car, and sat there in silence. 5 minutes passed. He didn't move, just breathed, listening to the distant hum of the city. And in those 5 minutes, he understood his life had changed forever. He didn't start a scene. The next morning, coffee, as usual. Good morning, you're up early? Meeting at 9. No hints, no questions. But something in his eyes had shifted. Cold, precise, as if he wasn't looking at his wife anymore, but at a problem that needed solving. Sarah didn't notice. She was sure she was in control, that Mark, always busy with his law firm, would never suspect a thing. Her lover was a coworker, an art director, younger, confident in that arrogant way she mistook for charm. Mark found out about him 3 days later. Not from her, from her phone. She'd left it on the living room table. He hadn't been snooping. The screen just lit up. A message popped up. Have you told him yet? I can't wait forever. He placed the phone back exactly as it was, didn't open it. But an hour later, he quietly hired a private investigator. Just the basics: name, address, habits. The detective worked fast. Within a week, Mark knew everything. The hotel in Seattle, the fake girls' weekends, the business trips that weren't. He didn't rage. He didn't break things. If anything, he became curious. He'd spent his life building strategies, legal battles, corporate wars. He knew how to wait, how to watch, how to strike when the opponent thought he'd already won. This time, the opponent was his own wife. He didn't confront her. He kept playing the role of the caring husband, steady, attentive, predictable. Brought flowers, asked about her day, pretended not to notice her secret smiles at the phone. Behind that calm surface, he built a plan. He didn't want to destroy her with shouting. He wanted her to see her own world collapse piece by piece, quietly, inevitably. He wanted her to understand what she'd lost. The first thing he did was change his will. No one knew except his lawyer. He left everything, the house, the savings, the investments, to a charity fund named after their late daughter. Sarah thought it was all in her name. Her first mistake. Next, he reassigned her office project under the control of a new associate, young, ambitious, hungry. Officially, it was a promotion for her. In reality, it was a setup. The associate knew about her affair and didn't mind using it to his advantage. A month later, Sarah began to notice the shift. Mark was even more attentive, came home early, cooked dinner, asked about her day. She relaxed, convinced herself that maybe it was fine, that maybe she didn't have to ruin everything after all. But calm is also a weapon. Mark just waited for her to make the next mistake. It happened at the company gala. They arrived together. She looked stunning, dress, smile, confidence. The lover was there too, and he slipped. His eyes lingered on her a little too long. Later, near the end of the night, he came closer and whispered, "After dinner, same place?" Mark smiled, raised his glass, and said quietly, "Of course, after dinner as usual." Sarah froze. The lover didn't understand, but Mark knew she did. She realized he knew everything. He didn't shout. He didn't accuse. He just became softer, calmer, gave her time, and the silence drove her insane. Not rage, not revenge. Silence. Silence that made her question everything. Then came the perfect moment. Friday night. She came home early. He was sitting in the living room, calm, with a glass of wine. On the table, a folder. Her name on the cover, and the lovers. Inside photos, dates, reports. She went pale. "Mark, it's not what you think." He looked up. "Sarah, I'm not thinking anything. I just know." No anger in his voice. No hatred. Just quiet clarity. "I'm not here to humiliate you," he said. "You made your choice. I made mine." Then he handed her another envelope. Divorce papers, already signed by him. She only had to add her signature. She couldn't speak. Her hands shook. "You wanted freedom," he said softly. "Here it is." A month later, she was alone. Her own apartment, no house, no money, no friends. Most of them had been his friends too, and now they avoided her. The lover had vanished the moment he realized she had nothing left to offer. Mark didn't celebrate. He simply reclaimed his peace. 6 months passed. One day he received a letter. No return address. Just a few lines. "I understand now. The worst punishment isn't revenge, it's when someone simply stops being there." He read it, closed it gently, and put it back in the envelope. And for the first time in months, he smiled. Not out of happiness, out of release. Revenge isn't always rage, or destruction, or pain. Sometimes it's the cold silence in which a person finally hears themselves. And in that silence, there is no forgiveness. Only emptiness. And that emptiness was louder than any words.